Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Welcome to our online Kashmir Cultural Heritage Awareness Series. Today is our 66th week, and our speaker is Sri Upender Ambardar, and the title is Bhairava Tradition in Kashmir. We thank Kanchimat for our ongoing Kashmir initiative. Offer our namaskarams to His Holiness Sri Shankar Vijayendra Saraswati Swamigal. As we know, Kanchimat has always been in the forefront, modestly working with the sole aim of national integration, spiritual enlightenment, and preserving the uniqueness of Kashmir, as Kashmir is our cultural heritage. We are very pleased to welcome Sri Upender Ambardar. He was broadcaster cum programmer, Prasar, Bharati, and a writer. He appeared in our program sometime in December in our series 19 on Mother Goddesses tradition and related Shakti stalls of Kashmir. We are delighted in welcoming Sri Upender Ambardar for the second time in our series. Yes, sir. Yeah, it's working fine. You can go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Namaskar. First of all, thanks to Madhyama Dharma Samajam and Kanchi Kamakoti Seva Foundation for having organized this program and also inviting me to participate in it. My topic is today Bhairava tradition in Kashmir. Kashmir, as we know, is the spiritual and religious crown of India, which has preserved the Vedic and Sanatan traditions in its various rituals and religious practices. The presiding deity of the entire region of Kashmir, extending from Krishna Ganga Valley to Panchal region of Himalayas, is Lord Shiva himself. Lord Shiva permeates in every pebble and speck of the Kashmiri soil. His cosmic spouse, Parvati's name, Kashmir is also known as Sati Desha, the land of Sati or Uma. As such, we can say that the spiritual resonance and religious fervor which pervades the entire area of Kashmir still continues to throb. Coming on the topic on Bhairava tradition, first of all, I will say there are various viewpoints regarding the word Bhairava. As per one thought, Bhairava is said to be one of the titles or designation of Devavade Mahadev Lord Shiva himself. One more thought says that Bhairava is one of the deities which is associated with Rudraksha, having 8 faces. This is as per Shiv Purana. In Shakti tradition of Kashmir, 8 deities are also designated as Bhairavas. And Lord Shiva is himself known as Bhairava. As per Kashmir tradition, Tantras are classified as Shakti, Shiva, and Bhairava. If we go by the meaning of the word Bhairava. Bhairava, it is a Vedic Sanskrit meanings. Bhairava means the fearsome, the one who destroys all kinds of fears, rather who protects us from dreadful enemies. In Kashmir Shaivism, one more viewpoint, I will say, Lord Bhairava is powerful manifestation of Lord Shiva himself, who is associated with annihilation or samhara or pralay. In Trika system of Kashmir, Bhairava represents the supreme reality or Para-Brahman. Bhairava is also known by the alternative name of Dandapani, the one, the deity who holds danda or the staff in his hand to punish the sinners. These are various viewpoints. Another viewpoint says, which is more commonly accepted, it says that Bhairava, the word Bhairava is combination of the alphabets Ba, Ra and Va. Ba represents the creation, Ra means the sustenance, and Va means the destruction or annihilation or samhara. And also, because in samhara, it is the reallocation is also associated with that. After samhara comes the reallocation, utpatti, which we call in Sanskrit. Origin of Bhairava can be traced to the conversation between Lord Brahma and Lord Vishnu. This is as per Shiv Purana. It says that since Lord Brahma also had 6 faces, like Lord Shiva, he thought himself that he is equivalent to Lord Shiva and he can do all those things and all those duties which are performed by cosmic duties, which are performed by Lord Shiva. So he inquired from Lord Vishnu that I'm equivalent to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva then assumed to break this ego of Lord Brahma. Lord Shiva is said to have assumed the fearsome form of Bhairava. And in that form, he cut one of his skulls of Lord Brahma, to enlighten him of that one should not have ego. In this form, in this manifestation, Lord Shiva, actually the manifestation was in the form of Kal Bhairava. This is the reason that every Shakti Peeth is said to be protected and guarded by Kal Bhairava. And every Shakti Peeth has a temple dedicated to Lord Bhairava. Another version says that there was a war once between the gods and the demons, and Lord Shiva created Kal Bhairava to destroy and overcome the demons. In Bhairava temples, in Shiva temples, Bhairava is north facing and in western direction. Bhairava is also equated with Kshetrapala, the presiding deity or the protector of a particular area. In Kashmir Shaivism, when we talk of tradition, Bhairava tradition in Kashmir Shaivism, Bhairava represents the ultimate form of manifestation or pure I consciousness. Some forms of Bhairavas are guardians of 8 cardinal points or directions, and therefore he is also known as protector or Khetrapala. Each category of these 8 guardians of the universe, 8 directions of the universe, it is headed by one major Bhairava. And each of these 8 directions, cardinal directions of the universe, and headed by major Bhairava or a senior Bhairava, under whom work 7 junior Bhairavas. Thereby, each senior Bhairava has got 7 junior Bhairavas under his command to carry out the cosmic related works. All these Bhairavas, they are known as Asht Bhairavas. All these Bhairavas, they come under the supreme sovereignty of the ruler of time or the destroyer of time or who consumes time, known as Kal Bhairava. Ashtbhairavas are 8 manifestations of Lord Shiva, the fearsome aspect of Lord Shiva. All these Ashtbhairavas outside Kashmir, they have got different names. I will mention them. Ruru Bhairava, Chand Bhairava, Krodh Bhairava, Unmata Bhairava, Kapala Bhairava, Bhima Bhairava, and Samhara Bhairava. Kal Bhairava is said to be the wandering form of Lord Shiva, and his resting place, all these Bhairavas have a resting place in the form of a tree. Tree has got a symbolic representation as it represents the all-encompassing entire space which is present within himself of the Lord. The mount of Bhairava is dog in its terrifying aspect, with protruding teeth and menacing exterior or appearance. Ashtbhairavas in Kashmir, due to its geographical peculiarity and spiritual resonance and being the repository of tantric tradition, Kashmir has its own names given to all these Bhairavas, Ashtbhairavas, which I will enumerate subsequently. Ashtbhairavas in Kashmiri tradition, they are the guarding and protecting deities of Srinagar city. As per a historical thought, King Pravarsena, when Srinagar city was established, there arose a need to reallocate the capital of Kashmir which was earlier in those times when King Pravarsana's prayer to King Pravarsana, it was at a spot, presently a small village on the suburb of Srinagar city, presently known as Pandrethan, and previously at that time it was named Purana Drishtana. Since this place was ravaged by floods, so King Pravarsana decided to have a new city. His Ishta Bhairava was Vetal Bhairava. Vetal Bhairava is said to be a very powerful Bhairava in Kashmiri tradition. So he approached and meditated and prayed to Vetal Bhairava that he wants to construct a new city, and he sought his blessings for that. Lord Bhairava, in the form of Vetal, is said to have appeared him in a dream and instructed him and gave him the directions, and also identified the place where new city was to be established. This new city was built during the time of 423 AD to 474 AD. This new city, it was the place where the present day Hari Parbat in Ranawari area of Srinagar, present day Srinagar city. This was the place where Pravarsana II established the new city of Srinagar. He divided, as per the directions of Vetal Bhairava, he divided the Srinagar city in 8 sectors or 8 zones, each of which was given under the direction of a Bhairava. They are known as Ashtbhairavas. 8 Bhairavas are Ashtbhairava of Srinagar city. We have got shrines dedicated to these Ashtbhairavas. Starting from 8 has a why Ashtbhairavas? 8 has very spiritual significance in Sanatan tradition. 8 are cardinal direction. 8 represents the wholesomeness of the whole universe, where human beings live. 8 is also associated with 8 Dikpals. 8 is also associated with Ashtalakshmi, all kinds of wealth, both mundane as well as spiritual. So 8 is a very holy number in Sanatani traditions, and we have Ashtalakshmis as well as Ashtbhairavas. I, as already said, that 8 directions or Ashtbhairavas, and it is presided over by a senior Bhairava. All these 8 Bhairavas are assisted by their cosmic energy or Shakti. In the form of Bhairavis. Though they complement each other in all the cosmic doings. 8 multiplied by 8 gives rise to 64. So the entire area of Kashmir This is one thing unique about Kashmir, that Kashmir Mandala has 64 Bhairavas, assisted by 64 yoginis. They are Shaktis, because no deity can accomplish any cosmic feat without the help of respective Shaktis or energies, cosmic energies. So we have got 64 Bhairavas and 64 Shaktis, or in the form of yoginis. Speaking about an Ashtbhairavas of Srinagar city, I will start with the Ashtbhairavas of Srinagar city. If we go, I said the city, new city, which was established by Prasar II, it was known as Pravarpura earlier. And subsequently, Srinagar city became Srinagar, as the holiest of the holy shrine of Ma Bhavani, Mother Goddess, and Sharika is located in this area of the newly established city. So Ashtbhairavas, they are about and in the vicinity of all this Hari Parbat area. Starting from Hari Parbat itself, the most powerful Bhairava, Vetal Bhairava, who was the East Bhairava of Prasar II, the shrine lies in Ranawadi area of Srinagar city. The shrine had an area of about 8 canals of land. Ashtbhairav, among Ashtbhairavas, Vetal is said to be boon giving aspect of the Bhairava. And the resting place is mulberry tree. In Tantric tradition of Kashmir, mulberry tree is said to be very poised tree, followed by chinar. Either of them can be found in shrines as well as these barrow shrines or barrow spots. Coming on the left side of on the same side, not sorry, in the near vicinity about 2 to 3 kilometers, another barrow known as Hatkeshwar barrow. Hatkeshwar barrow was also said to be a very powerful barrow. The shrine does not exist now. Post 90, it has been plundered and no trace of can be found. It was in Malkha area of Srinagar city, which is known as the biggest graveyard of Srinagar. Hatkeshwar was previously, in earlier times, the devotees of Hatkeshwar barrow, they were known as those Brahmins who were well versed in Shaivite scriptures. Another barrow on the left side of Hatkeshwar barrow on Hawal Sajgirpura road is Puraras barrow. Puraras barrow is said to be very senior Bhairava also. He is counted as a senior Bhairava, one of the senior Bhairavas of Srinagar city. And his shrine is in front of, in the straight, it is in, rather it is a straight line with Hari Parvat, the Sakreshwar shrine. It has got a small pond, and on its one side and there is a mulberry tree. Proceeding further, we have got Jackson Bhairav and Vishuksan Bhairav. Both these Bhairav shrines, they were on the left side of river Vitasta, these Bhairav spots, Bhairav shrines, Vishuksan and Jackson Bhairavs. Their jurisdiction was on the left side of areas. But both these Bhairav spots, Bhairav shrines, they don't exist now because they were plundered and destroyed during Afghan rule. They survive only in our folk memory and in our ritual practices when they are invoked during puja. Coming further upwards, we have got another Bhairav shrine, Bahukhetkeshwar Bhairav. It is at the confluence of river Vetasta and Doodh Ganga river. It had about 15 canals of land. Again, the resting place was mulberry tree, which was annotated with vermilion. This shrine also stands plundered and is non-functional after 1990 exodus. Going further from here towards the left side of Srinagar city, across river Vetasta, in the downtown area of Fatehgadal, is Mangaleshwar Bhairav. Mangaleshwar, as for etymological meaning, he gives boons, he gives blessings, and all that which is auspicious. Hence is known as Mangaleshwar Bhairava. It is a functional shrine, again having a mulberry tree as the resting place of the Bhairava. As per a Puranic thought, the demon Namchi is said to have been defeated by Lord Indra, as Namchi Rakshas was troubling the inhabitants of the area, which was in those days it was known as Namchibal, and presently it is known as Shamaswari. Name change over. Lord Indra could not overcome the demon Namchi and subsequently prayed to Lord Shiva for boons to defeat the Raksha. Lord Shiva is said to have appeared at a spot where there is a mulberry tree It exists to the present times. And gave darshan to Lord Indra and assured him that he will overcome the demon. From that very point, from that very day, the Pradurbhav of Mangleshwar Bhairav happened. It is in the form of this Bhairav Sathal is situated in a small island and surrounded by a water body, and it is known as Babadem area. Again, it has 8 to 10 canals of land. This island is about an 8-10 canals, but surrounded by water body, and one has to cross in a shikara to reach this Bhairav Sathal. Going ahead on the road towards the up city, we have got the senior most Bhairav among Asht Bhairavas of Srinagar city, known as Anandeshwar Bhairav. The shrine is located at Maisuma area, near the vicinity of Amira Kadal, the heart of Srinagar city. Anandeshwar Bhairav is said to be the senior most Bhairav among Asht Bhairavas of Srinagar city. So it completes the Asht Bhairavas and the tradition which we follow, and all these Asht Bhairavas are invoked to the present day, even to the present day, during our religious customs, religious practices, and during our puja. We celebrate the birthdays of all these Bhairavas with the preparation. Puja, but puja padhati is tantric mode of practice, in which yellow colored rice, known in local parlance as tahar, is prepared, and this is the sacrificial offering to the Bhairavas, all these Asht Bhairavas. Kashmir Mandal has got, as I told you, 64 Bhairavas. Earlier it happened previously, some 700-800 years back, we had 64 Bhairavas in Kashmir. And all they were known by different names. Their appearances were different. Their mantras were different. Invoking mantras were different. I will name a few. But before going that, I just want to add, Srinagar city has one more Bhairav. Two more Bhairav shrines. One is located in Old City at Sothu Barbarsha, and the Bhairav is known as Shitleshwar Bhairav. It is benevolent aspect of Bhairav. Though a junior Bhairav, but is a powerful Bhairav. One more Bhairav shrine doesn't come under Asht Bhairavas. It is in Karanagar at the bank of Doodh Ganga river, known as Tushakraj Bhairav. Both these, they had their own areas which they were supposed to protect and give protection to the inhabitants residing in their areas. I will mention a few Bhairavas of other villages of Kashmir Valley. We have got very powerful Bhairava outside the realm of Asht Bhairavas, known as Nandkishar Bhairava. Nandkishar Bhairava, the uniqueness about this Bhairava is that he is the only Bhairava who, though born as a mortal, was raised to the status of divinity, as he was blessed by all the deities ranging from Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati. And was included, rather he was included and adopted by Parvati as her Ichhaputra. His shrine is located at Sir Jagir and Central District of Kashmir, Ganderbal, at Sumbal, at the bank of Manasbal Lake, the world famous Manasbal Lake. Sir Jagir shrine of Nandkishar Maharaj is known as Nandkishar Maharaj by the name of Nandkishar Bhairava Maharaj, is on the bank of river Vetasta. All these Bhairavas are associated, closely linked with water bodies. Either there is a pond, or there is a riverlet, or there is a river near it in its vicinity. Nandkishar Bhairava at Sir Jagir is in Sattvic form. Here the sacrificial offering is white rice. Turmeric is not used here, because turmeric, as per a belief, is said to be associated with tamasic aspect in our tradition. Only Bhairava where or white rice is the offering. All others are yellow turmeric mixed in rice that is used as an offering. Then we have Divraj Bhairava of Nunar in Ganderbal district. We have Ganganath Bhairava of Mutton. We have Jagannath Bhairava of Pulwama. We have Bhuteshwar Bhairava in some villages of Badgam, the central district of Kashmir, and Jambukeshwar Bhairava in South Kashmir. Then we have got Kal Bhairava also, shrine in Uttarasu village in South Kashmir. This is the only Kal Bhairava shrine which is present in the entirety of Kashmir, nowhere else. In the puja paddhati, in the puja tradition of Bhairavas, the puja or invocation of the Bhairava is Vamargi or Kolmargi. We have got a reference about this, how these Bhairavas have to be invoked, how puja is to be performed. Kolar Navtantra mention is made about it in that tantra. So the puja or the religious practices or the religious traditions which are associated with their puja are entirely different. Bhairava tradition has got a strong influence in our religious practices also, religious festivals also. Shivratri is the king of festivals of Kashmir, Kashmiri Hindus, rather. We have got Shivratri, which is celebrated in Kashmir. It is Phalgun Krishna Paksh Triyodashi. While outside Kashmir, it is Chaturdashi. In Tantric, some of the scriptures, there is a mention how and why Triyodashi is the day when Shivratri is celebrated in Kashmir, and not on Chaturdashi. As per this thought, Lord Shiva, during the early days of or formative years of creation of the universe, is said to have meditated and is Para Shakti or his Param Shakti or his cosmic spouse. And he found in his meditation that his Shakti, known as Parvati, was in the company of yoginis in a beautiful forest in Himalayas. Lord Shiva is said to have assumed the form of manifestation of Swachhanda Bhairava, the fearsome form of Bhairava, and went to see his spouse, cosmic spouse, in that forest. The yoginis, having after seeing this fearsome form of Bhairava as Swachhanda Bhairava, they got terrified and they went and apprised the goddess Parvati about it. Goddess Parvati, to ward off the advances of Swachhanda Bhairava, is said to have cast her glance on a pitcher full of water. And from that pitcher came a Bhairava known as Vatuk Bhairava. Vatuk Bhairava is a Bhairava who is of 15 up to 15 or 16 years of age. He's a celebrated Bhairava without any cosmic Shakti. And from that picture emerged Vatuk Bhairava with all his cosmic weaponry and accessories. But in spite of that, he could not stop the advance of Swachhanda Bhairava. Goddess Parvati saw it, and she said to have cast another glance on another pitcher full of water, and from that emerged another Bhairava known as Ramana Bhairava. It was a pleasant appearance or manifestation of Bhairava. Both these Bhairavas are invoked during the Shivratri of Kashmiri Hindus. During this appearance of these two Bhairavas, after they emerged, these two Bhairavas, Lord Shiva is said to have assumed the form of a Javala Linga, the radiant and full of radiance manifestation form. And this is the, and after this was witnessed in both these Bhairavas, and both Vatuk Bhairavas and Ramana Bhairava. They tried to locate the beginning or the exterior end of this Jyotirlinga, but they could not find it. Vatuk Bhairava is the Bhairav to which puja is offered during Shivratri on Triyodashi. Because both these Bhairavas appeared on Triyodashi of Phagana. So Shivratri of Kashmir in Kashmir is observed on Phagun Krishna Paksh Triyodashi. This was the day both Bhairavas as well as Jyoti Linga, the fluorescent manifestation of Lord Shiva, happened on that day. So Shivratri on Triyodashi and not on Chaturdashi as observed in rest of the country. In Kashmiri tradition, Jwala Linga, it connotes Prakasha or the light of consciousness, as Lord Shiva is perceived in Kashmiri tradition. While his cosmic energy or Shakti is known as Vimarsha. Vimarsha in Kashmir, Shaivite tradition is self-awareness. Shivratri, as this tradition is known Prakash Ratri, as the light of illumination, which is the blissful union of Prakash and Vimarsha. Raman Bhairava is also invoked. The whole puja of Shivratri is known as Vatak Puja. And all the samagri or the ritualistic things which are used, they are known as Vatak accessories. One more day, when puja is offered to the walnuts, during Shivratri, there is a ritual among us which is known as knock at the door. After the puja is performed, and we say a sort of, we give goodbye, cosmic return of Lord Shiva and his cosmic spouse, Goddess Parvati, to their abode, cosmic abode at Mount Kailash or Mount Meru. This is the Amavasya, day of Amavasya, during Shivratri, third day. In the evening, puja is performed on the river bank or at the pond. And then after returning to the home, the door of the house is closed. And the lady outside the door of the house, there is a conversation between the lady outside and the house inmate inside, rather at the back of the door. And she says, who are you? The lady outside who has come after performing the puja says, I am Bhairava. Ramanik Bhairava or Ramana Bhairava. Due to mispronunciation or misarticulation, it's known as Ram Bror in local parlance. Bror is a derivation of the Sanskrit word Bhatarika. So, God or Lord Bhairava in his benevolent form is invoked to come inside the house and bless the house inmates. This is a tradition which is continued till this date. So we find that there is a strong influence of Bhairava tradition in our socio, religious and cultural practices, our traditions and our customs. In tantric tradition, Bhairava is a tantric deity which helps a seeker or a sadhak towards self-fulfillment and actualization of the desires. The energy of the Bhairava is the divine force which overcomes all the obstacles and helps a seeker to get closer to the divine. One more Bhairava who is remembered, rather invoked, is that of Amriteshwar Bhairava. The Bhairava of elixir life, we can say it alternatively. He is also known as, Amriteshwar Bhairava is also known as Netranatha, the Bhairava having 3 eyes. As per this tradition, Amriteshwar Bhairava tradition, the whole universe is pervaded by the Shaktis of Icha, Janana and Kriya. All these come together and they form the eyes of the Lord Amriteshwara. They are the source. They offer or rather give immortality to the seekers and they free them from the cycle of life and birth and death. So these are the traditions which are followed in the Bhairava tradition of Kashmir. So we can say that benevolent Bhairava and Ramanik Bhairava, they are benevolent aspects or manifestations of Lord Shiva himself. In Kashmiri tradition, it is said that Shiv Shastra, they were revealed by Lord Shiva himself. in the form of Sachand Bhairava through his 5 faces. Swachand is a Sanskrit word which means free will. All these details are recorded in Swachand Tantra. Swachand Bhairava, this manifestation, he is 4-armed. He has got 3 eyes with 5 faces. And he operates, rather manifests with radiance due to his free will. 5 is a very poised word in our tradition, in Sanatani tradition or Tantra tradition, as they represent, or rather they are symbolic of Panch Mahabhutas. They are 5 subtle. They also represent 5 subtle forms of Chitta, Ananda, Icha, Janana and Kriya. The whole universe, or even our own body, it is made of 5 Panch Mahabhutas. Universe is also made of 5 Mahabhutas. So there is no difference between a human being and the Lord Shiva or the God, great God himself. In Shiva tradition, Lord Shiva is said to reside in our own self. And we have to turn inwards to find him. In Shaivite tradition, in Shaivite Mathikas, a person, a seeker, a devotee is not supposed to do Ashtang Pranama. Because as per this belief, if Lord Shiva resides in my own self, how can a person bow to himself? So in Kashmiri Shaivite tradition, one is not supposed to bow or prostrate or do Ashtang Pranama. This is a practice still followed in Kashmir Shiv ashramas or mathikas. For that, emphasis is on the self itself. Vedic traditions or Vedic elements are still preserved in some form or the other form in religious thought of Kashmir. As I already mentioned, and these Bhairavas, Sathalas or Sathapna, Sathalsan, they are always in the open. These are open side, spiritual, they embody. They speak of the spiritual ecology, where there is a close relationship between the human beings and the surroundings in the nature. So the elements of water bodies, springs, riverlets, rivers, and the trees, mulberry, as I said, and chinar tree. They are said to be very poised trees in our puja paddhati or puja tradition. And they are found These trees can be found in almost all religious places and shrines of ours, and they are said to be the resting places of the superior or cosmic beings. So I think with this session, I have tried to bring forth some vital points regarding the Shivite or Bhairava tradition, because it is synonymous. Bhairava, we revere Lord Shiva more as in the form of Bhairava. The traces of this influence and Shivite or Bhairava tradition can be found in our religious practices, our traditions, as well as our customs or religious practices which we perform, and it's preserved and still there is the preserved. Shivratri, I say, it is not only the festival, it is the greatest festival of ours, but it is a religio, cultural, spiritual, and folk religious festival. I consider it is a folk because many folk elements are preserved, Vedic, from Vedic times. Openness of the shrines, this is a basic Vedic concept, still preserved. Bhairava shrines, we don't enclose them in the four walls of the temple. These are open spaces in close nature, in the close vicinity. Nature for us is Prakriti, it is nature. Prakriti is creation, it sustains. Utpatti, Samahar, relocation. These are all associated with the nature. So many things are connected with the Vedic era. These still continue to be preserved. Either in religious practice or in folk memory. Many of the things are preserved in our memory also. Kashmir being not only Bhairava Satara, the greatest Bhairava Satara, it is also a Shakti, the prime center of Shaktivad. Mother Goddess tradition is the strongest. It is a vibrant repository. Mother Goddess thought. Still preserved. We have got 64 yoginis because I say 64 Bhairavas. We have got 64 yoginis. But they cannot exist without the cosmic energy in the form of Shakti. All deities, they have got their Shaktis. They can't operate on their own. The same principle applies to the human beings. We proceed onwards in our life, and it is through the Shakti. Shankaracharya founded Shakti. He got enlightenment. Aware about the Shakti. He became a devotee after coming to Kashmir. We have got the highest, all the native, indigenous and Shakti spots. That is our indigenous deity, goddess, Sharda. She is the presiding goddess of the entire region, right from Krishna Ganga, now in POK, Pakistan occupied Kashmir, to entire Panchal region. She represents the whole sovereignty of her, the whole area. Lord Shiva, Devadev, Mahadev, he is the presiding deity of the entire region. Kashmir is Sati Desha. Every pebble, every stone, it has the vibrations, cosmic vibrations of. So I think I have tried my bit to speak
Thank
about.
you, Upender ji. It was very fascinating explanation. So many Bhairavas, and the way you explained spiritual ecology comprising of nature, waterways, trees, Just wanted to mention to you that the way you explained Bhairava, that Bhayam is a Tamil word also. Bhayam is
Acha.
fearfulness. That is a
Oh,
Tamil
yeah.
word. Bhayam.
It is a Vedic Sanskrit. We have got,
Right.
I already mentioned, Vedic. We have got many Vedic Sanskrit. There is two types of Sanskrit language, we can say it. One is classical Sanskrit and another is Vedic Sanskrit. We have got Sanskrit, which is Vedic Sanskrit, and many words are still existing. And
Yes.
though people may not be aware about this, and we have
May not be
got
aware or may not like to talk about. So now there is a question here: in how many days can all these deities can be covered? Now you mentioned about 64 zones, 8 by 8.
uh,
Now, can we go and then locate all these places? You know, there is no separate temple or anything, but these are all the
many of
zones.
them have got destroyed. Many of them have been plundered. Many have got during the
Plunder.
preceding years and during Afghan rule. So they don't stand. Even in Ashbairavas and two of the Bhairavas, and they are not existing. And rather three, Hatkeshwar Bhairava doesn't exist now. You can't find a small space of that shrine.
Maybe
Land
those
is there.
maybe those deities are still protecting India. That's why there is no further invasion.
Yeah. Cosmic. It is the cosmic force of these deities, and which
And the brunt is
which
faced by
stops the
Kashmir.
onslaught, which stops, because Bhairavas are living. They are living force. They are a living. It is our ignorance, sir. This is impurities or impious on our part.
You also mentioned about Pandretan, right? There is a temple, Pandretan temple is there.
There is a Shavai temple. The
Oh,
previously it is known presently the village is known as Pandre. It is known as Pandretan, known as.
Pandretan.
Previously, during the up to the Ashoka's time, King Ashoka's, it was the capital city, and then shifted, because that was, it is on the right on the bank of the river Vetasta. So the floods were occurrence of the floods was very much, and so it was changed by Prasar second to the downtown, which is known presently as the new city, downtown city. And one more
So
thing I
it's
want to add.
yes.
We have got a one Kali, Mahakali temple in Srinagar. Kali, like an Bhairava, Mahakali is also said to be the protecting deity of the areas where the devotees are the people are living in. So in earlier times, Mahakali temple used to be the outskirts of the habitation. After that, the habitation would end. So these were interlinked. And Bhairavas, Mahakali, we have got Kali and Mahakali. Mahakali is a benevolent, protective manifestation of the goddess Kali. Then we have got
No, but
Bhadrakali also.
these things still exist in most of the villages in the south too. Like you said, habitation. These temples are all protecting the place. Outskirts of the villages, you can find similar deities or similar temples in most of the villages, as you may be aware of. Now, this Bhairava name is not very common now. Is it named after people? People use that as a name because you explained so much about Bhairava tradition. Is it a common name, Bhairava, among Kashmiris?
Oh, Bhairav is a common name. Bhairava is good. I think in South also Bhairav is a, but mostly it is called Bhairava, because
Called Bhairava.
all these Bhairavas are supposed to operate under Kal Bhairava. Kal Bhairava is himself, Lord Shiva himself, because when is the fearsome form of Lord Shiva is Kal, because he annihilates time, he is destroyer of time, he manifests, he initiates pralaya, he manifests, and he also reallocates. So these are all these things, and these are very interlinked with each other. Whether it is Bhairava, whether it is Kali, these are divine. These are divine manifestations, and we are these. They have saved our country and our people to the present times, and this is only their
Still.
blessings, and we invoke them. And
No,
in our tradition, we invoke.
you associated with Mahashivratri, but is there a specific day coming in December for Bhairava? There is one, just like we
Yes,
have for.
every bear I mentioned, and every Bhairava has his annual days which is celebrated. And
Okay.
their appearances, their manifestations are different. Their
So
monks are
what do you
different.
do? Do you Kashmiri Pandits go just like you go for Kshir Bhavani? Do you go for these as during these functions, Bhairava
Where
functions?
we celebrated our
Hmm.
every function in our home. Our
Home.
basically in Kashmir tradition, God is within us, within the premises of our home, because home is the next. It is a temple selected by the God Himself for the inhabitants, for the inmates. So in tradition, in the Vedic tradition, I mean the Vedic tradition, there was
Yes.
openness. There was no temple. The construction which we find today in Vedic era, there was nothing. All Prakriti. This was all God. It was all goddess. It was mother goddess. But these are preserved. They either in folk memory or in some form in customs or in traditions. We have to just go very deeper in aspects of this, and you can find these traces.
Anyhow, we're running short of time now, and thank you so much for such a detailed explanation on Bhairava, which we have never heard of. So you're so passionate talking about all this, and hopefully on our next visit to Kashmir, we'll try and then locate these places. Thankfully, names like Srinagar have not been changed. They've kept the name as it is.
Yeah, it still exists. It still continues. Continues. It is.
Very nice. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
And
you. Thank you.
thank you once again for appearing in our program second time. We will see you again next year sometime.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Namaskar ji.
Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you, viewers. As I mentioned earlier, Upender ji already appeared in our program in December. You can go and have a look at this presentation. Very detailed, research-oriented presentation. We want to thank Kanjimat Channels for streaming our program today, and VDSP for the support, and also Dinamalar that is carrying details of our program week after week. Till we meet next Saturday, Jai Jai Shankara, Hara Hara Shankara.